I'd love to get back to reviews and things, but apparently that's not on the cards. Yet another kerfuffle has erupted within the RPG community. This time around Shane DeFries. You may not know who Shane DeFries is, but he's been involved at various levels in the sort of legacy of White Wolf, Vampire and so on, particularly the LARP Society, which is where I think I have some passing familiarity with him, though he moved in different circles within the LARP Society and I left in 2005, so make of that what you will. I was never really involved in the side of things that he was involved in, which was things like the Succubus Club that they used to do at conventions and big LARP meets, where they would run a pretend nightclub in one of the hotel rooms or halls or ballrooms or whatever. Lots of drink, lots of food, lots of dancing, lots of loud music. Now the Camarilla was always a bit of a meat market, bit of a party place, and a lot of informed consent going on. But this is where the accusations towards Shane DeFries come out, in that he has been accused of various sexual improprieties that may or may not rise to the level of rape, depending how you define these things, who you believe, all the rest of it. Now on this channel we don't particularly like to gossip, we like to talk about the issues around these things, so that's what I want to do here. So leaving DeFries and what he's accused of specifically to one side for the moment, let's consider what's going on around this. Now, one of the things that I really hate about this mob mentality and about this social justice moment that we've been having for quite a few years now is that I no longer instinctually believe and try to support people who are claimed to be victims. So many false accusations, so much hyperbole, so many baseless and groundless attacks on me, friends of mine, people I know to be innocent of whatever it is they're being accused of, or to keep other people safe. When it comes to me, it's ludicrous accusations of racism because I criticize someone who happens to be black, or sexism or misogyny or whatever else it might be. These spurious, groundless, nonsense accusations get taken seriously by the mob, but they're false. So when something else comes along, some other accusation, some other unproven claim, understandably, I think, I am now skeptical, even hyper-skeptical. I start to demand evidence. I start to demand due process. I go out of my way to hear the other side of the story and even to signal boost it, which doesn't do me any favours, but in theory helps us get closer to the truth about whatever claim it might be. But I hate the fact that these people, this mob behaviour, has made me so deeply suspicious of any accusation, any claim. And in the long term, I don't think it helps victims to alienate people like me, to make people like me deeply suspicious, to turn on anyone who just isn't sufficiently on board with whatever accusation you're making, or in this case is even just surprised by the accusations that are being made. The mob has turned on Satine for expressing surprise, apparently, that Shane was like this, and then as a result raking over her past to give her shit about her associations with me, with Zach Smith. You know, even if the accusations towards Zach turn out to be true, even if accusations towards other people turn out to be true, upbraiding someone for not knowing seems peculiar, because a predator, in order to be a predator, must be able to hide and to fool people, right? So one would think, but apparently not. So all of this creates this atmosphere of suspicion and skepticism. You hold someone who may have made an off-colour joke to be as objectionable as someone who may have engaged in the act of rape. how are we supposed to take any of this seriously? How are we supposed to believe you? And then you block tons of people anyway, so how would we know what's going on, what accusations have been made, what evidence there is, because you raise the bar and the difficulty of finding out. And then you further condemn and damn people when they don't know what's going on. It's just ludicrous. And it's actively dangerous for genuine victims of genuine predatory behaviour, which this may or may not be. I don't know, you don't know. And yet again, someone is being cancelled again without anyone really looking into it or having any kind of objective standard or respecting innocent until proven guilty. So how are we supposed to know? And this isn't helped by the fact that people are giving others accused of similar things a free pass. Holden Shearer has been accused in the past of running cover for a sexual predator, allegedly John Mork, I think. Mork, anyway, that's certainly his last name. And yet he seems to get a pass and seems to be respected and believed when he involves himself in things like this. So you've got hyperbole, you've got false accusations towards people. You seem to harbour a lot of predators, more than the parts of the community that you normally condemn. You accept and maintain relationships with the right kind of bad person, like Holden Shearer. And the end result of all of this is that you push away even the people who agree with you and are willing to go along with what you do, like Satine, who is a lovely, compassionate individual, and yet you're alienating and pushing her away. You know, I want to get at what's true. I want genuine sex pests and so on to be pushed out, and yet I have no way of knowing what you're talking about, who you're talking about, and you've made me deeply sceptical of any and every claim that you make, because you make spurious, nonsensical accusations towards me as well. Do you see the difficulty? Do you think it is tactically useful to accuse people of things without having some kind of standard of evidence, of making some kind of commonality between someone who makes off-colour comments and someone who may or may not have sexually assaulted someone? Do you not think the hyperbole that you engage in is tactically unsound? Are you not worried that you're giving cover to grifters and predators who are pretending to be the opposite, who are pointing and shrieking as a way to distract attention from their own misbehaviour? Do you not see the cumulative negative effect as you alienate more people, as you make more people more sceptical? Do you not see how you're making things more difficult for genuine victims? And promulgating this idea that they will never be listened to, that the authorities will never respond. Do you not see how that's negative to victims? How it might encourage them not to report whatever genuine abuse they might have suffered. There's so much that goes wrong when you engage in this behaviour. There's so much that is made harder and worse for people when you engage in this behaviour, and you don't seem able to see it, to comprehend it, to understand it. That's what concerns me. It doesn't matter whether it's Defreest, or whether it's Rolf, or whether it's Zach, or whether it's me, or whether it's Pundit, or Venger, or anyone else that gets accused of things, real or imagined. There's got to be some kind of standard here, and we need to get to a point where these kinds of claims are believable again, where the default returns to belief and compassion and empathy and investigation and prosecution, whether in a legal or HR or public relations sense, rather than suspicion and disbelief, which has become the default due to the misbehaviour of the mob. It worries me a lot, all the time. Particularly the double standards. Sang.
He said captain, I said what? He said captain, I said what? Once a lifetime, twice a day. If you don't work, you get no pay. I've been to the east, I've been to the west, but the girls are like most of the ones I'm dressed. Well,
I can make it happen. I can get you anything you want. You just have to talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. I'm your priest. I'm your shrink. I'm your main connection to the switchboard of souls. I'm the magic man. The Santa Claus of the subconscious. You say it. You even think it. You can have it.